Good morning, everyone. What is happening? Hope everyone is doing well today. We actually have a little bit of an uptrend going, guys. Actually, it looks like we already had a break a new high. Stonks time, baby. Good morning, Steven. Good morning, Daily Grind. Good morning, Randwolf. Hey, Toad. Interesting taking a look at the Nasdaq. Much different today. Like the ES is in kind of a clear looking uptrend for the last 3 hours, and the Nasdaq just continuing in a range. Oh man, daily grind, that sucks. I think we've all been there, accidentally taking something in sim when we think it's live. That's pretty disappointing. Yeah, so here's the Nasdaq. Looking a lot, price action looking a lot different than the ES, but playing out really nicely. Look at all that. We got, oops. This channel working up, breaking new extreme. This channel working down, new extreme. Channel working up, break, attempted a new extreme. But price action playing out just perfectly. Morning, Gary. Failed breakout. Let's check that out. I'm not sure where a failed breakout is on today's chart. Because, you know, keep in mind failed breakouts are from ranges, and the only range I see is down here. So if you're talking about perhaps fading this move, the overnight high. Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be considered a failed breakout really. But that would just be playing like it's a reversal. If you have a channel working up, breaking new high, you're just playing the end of the channel. Yeah, failed breakouts are strictly reserved for ranges. Like so. Oh shoot, I didn't even have my pencil out there. I was talking about this range right here. I don't really think all of the action today constitutes a range. I mean, maybe we'll see, right? Like later in the day, this could reveal that this is one big range, but so far it looks like a small range down here and then a short-term uptrend, which already has had a break a new high. Anyway, we'll see, and I'm glad you got a trade in though. But right now we are expecting a move downwards with having this break in new high. So expecting prices to go down from here. You have 3 touches there, Gary. Yeah, I guess if you go back a couple days, you could certainly see that, but at least right here we don't. Anyway, I'm gonna flip back over to the Nasdaq. We'll see if this is able to pull SPY in one direction or another. Kind of just in the middle. Oops, sorry. We're kind of just in the middle of the range here. Good question, Johnny. If this holds on the EMA, would I consider widening the channel? Yeah, I think for sure. And that's kind of always the case, right? If we continue to go up after having a break in new extreme and then prices continue to go upwards, then that's always when you need to think about widening a channel. But yeah, I mean, let's play around with that. I don't know that widening looks the best. It looks okay. Well, I think we'll see. We just need some more information in order to figure out what the structure might be. I think very possible that we could have like a spike in channel or something like that. That seems to fit a little bit better. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to keep that up for now. Macaroons, what is up? Good morning. Yeah, so far the EMA is holding, and it is looking like this spike in a channel might be legit. Well, it looks like this is slowing down a little bit, kind of like yesterday. Bar is taking a long time to form here. Hey, Daily Grind, good question. Been involved in the markets for many years now. Trading pure price action for the last 2, really devoting myself to this strategy alone. So yeah, it's been good. Fortunately, I had some experience in trading before I really dove into this particular strategy, so I already knew how to read a price chart, read candlesticks, things like that, and so came, I think, a lot faster than someone who maybe was starting out right away on it. Just looking at the this piece right here, it looks like we could get a nice first entry, second entry. Obviously it's a little sketch just because we already have this new, oh sorry, you guys can't see my pencil. So there's, from this high here, we have our first entry already. Looking at a pullback and a second entry. right here. With the break and new extreme right here, we have to be a little bit cautious, make sure that this spike in the secondary channel is holding. And if it is, I think we can confidently take that trade as long as it's by the EMA. But you know, right now we are expecting prices to move down, push down below the EMA, and you know, give some sort of bearish correction here. Hey Rasa, good question. Currently on the year, my win rate is about 70%. Profit factor is right around 2, something like that. Actually, that's a good reminder. I haven't updated my journal in a while, especially with being on vacation and everything. So I need to get all that entered and take a look over at my stats and get some study time in. Haven't done that in a while, but very, very important to do. Take a look at your trades, all your stats, really analyze what you've done, mistakes that you're seeing in your trading, things like that. So having a trading journal is really helpful. Kind of does all that for you. An automatic trading journal, rather. Wow, this bar has taken forever to form. My goodness. $75 win rate, 1.5 profit factor since you started trading money in April. That's awesome, Rasa. Good work. Okay, so this would be a second entry here. I don't know whether I'm going to take it or not, because again, it really kind of depends on the spike in the channel being valid. On the NQ, looks like we might be testing the bottom of this range, so we could get a push down here. I'm really not sure about the possibility of taking this. So I kind of hope that this bar isn't super good. That'll be really tempting, and then we'll really have, you know, first entry here, second entry here. But if it is good, I might consider taking. We'll see. We're also 8 minutes away from the open. Stevens Temptress bar. You have 2 legs back though from this high. Man, this is a tough one, guys. The risk on the 7 ticks. Fairly small risk. Watching NQ closely, making sure it doesn't just drop off all of a sudden. If it does, I'll hold off. If it stays strong and this bar finishes nice and green, I think I might have to risk it. It will be right at the open though, that's the only thing here. Which I don't mind if it's a really good setup, but this isn't like an A+ setup, right? About 200 ticks to go. The Nasdaq's still holding strong. We'll see how this bar finishes here. I don't like that doji. That was a nice bullish bar. I would have taken a chance, but more like a doji. 5 minutes away from the open. Already have a break and new extreme of this channel. So more than likely we're gonna get a push down. Too many things going against it, but locally, I mean, that's really the pattern you're looking for. Pullback first entry, pullback second entry, right off the EMA. That looks really good. So if you have a better bar on your chart, maybe you consider taking it. I'm going to hold off. I'm also going to reload my data. I don't know if I've done that this morning. Make sure I'm getting the freshest bars. Three minutes to open now. Okay, looking about the same. That trade has triggered. We'll see how it does. It'll probably work. That's the thing. When you skip a trade, that's usually when it works. Yeah, I guess technically, Johnny, since the other one went down first, this would technically be our signal bar. And it is looking quite green. What's our risk on that? 11 ticks. That's a pretty big risk for this right at the open. On the 10K, how's this look? Definitely in a trend on the 10K. Oops. Oh, good. It's not even closing well. Go away, temptress bar. And another doji. Yeah, so I feel good about skipping all this now. We got 2 dojis in a row. Price is not even really taking off. 2 minutes to open. Nasdaq is still looking good though. It hasn't dropped off anywhere. It's staying strong here in the middle of the range. Actually looks like it wants to break out higher. Getting congested here going into the open. We have about 30 seconds left. Yeah, it does look like a triple test for sure. But that's another thing going good for it. 1, 2, like 3 tests at that level. Yeah, and there you go. It would have worked. But, oh well. Look at the Nasdaq all of a sudden coming alive. Look at this. Boom, just rocket up. Which is crazy because it's been weak overnight while the ES has been going up. So all of a sudden it just, boom, comes alive. I don't know what's going there. Interesting. Switching back to ES. Yeah, that definitely would have made a scalp. Our spike and channel does seem to be holding here. For the time being. Shayak, do you think we'll see some profit taking today? No idea. We will see. Just judging kind of each day by itself at this point. I mean, sure, like we can, you know, look at the daily charts and make predictions and things, but as far as like the trades today, doesn't really matter. Me, I'm looking, you know, I'm scalping, right? So just looking for opportunities to take 1.5 to 2 points. Not too concerned with what happens on the bigger picture for this style of trading, right? Going back to the Nasdaq, let's see if we have any way to draw a big channel here. Might be something like this. That looks fairly decent. Could just be this little section. I know we're gonna keep an eye on all that. Ooh, look at that! It's touching right at that channel and dropping off. So that's for sure confirming. Back to the ES, still respecting our secondary channel. We could get another second entry long here. This decides to pull back. First entry, pull back. Oh, sorry. From the top, if we pull back, get a first entry, get another pullback and a second entry. Holding the EMA right here, holding the bottom of the channel line. I think we can feel good about taking that one. Nasdaq is the widowmaker, that's for sure. That is for sure. You can get some crazy moves kind of out of nowhere on the Nasdaq, which, by the way, I read that the Nasdaq might be rebalancing, decreasing their holdings of some of the major tech companies. It'd be really interesting. It's, it's heavily weighted with like Microsoft and Apple and Tesla, but decreasing some of their. It's rebalancing today on the close. Well, there you go. That could explain some of the erratic behavior. That's crazy, man. I don't even know what to think about that. Is it even going to be as fun anymore? To me, that just sounds like, oh, you're going to make it more boring. Okay. But the S&P 500 might follow suit. Downweighting Tesla and upweighting Meta. Interesting. Maybe it'll make it less erratic. Next quarterly is September. Okay, good. Whew. Interesting. A fund can't have over 50% in the top 5 holdings. Hey, look, we don't want you to have too much exposure to the good stocks. So let's try to get some crap in there too. Morning, Steve T. Yeah, it's not diversified. Okay, let's see if we can get that second entry long here. Okay, let's see what we got here. Don't want this pullback to be too strong. We want to continue to hold the EMA, hold this channel. If we get a second entry, we're going to take it. Looks like the Nasdaq is overshooting its channel. We could probably widen it just a bit so that So that the midline is matching up with this earlier action. If we widen it a bit, still good. I'm not going to widen it any more than that though. Morning, Grandpa Roger. Looks like this first entry is just going to go to a new high here. Need a pullback pretty much right now. Can't go any higher. And no dice. We're at the top of the channel, new high. Gonna have to wait for another pullback. The longer that we keep doing this, the less reliable it's gonna be. You kind of want to catch the first 1 or 2 times that happens. The Nasdaq especially, you know, at the top of its channel. Sorry. At the top of its channel up here, so we would expect there to be a pullback, you know, at least down to the EMA, possibly to the bottom of the channel. So with that, threatening a pullback, we'll have to wait and see if this follows suit and corrects more strongly. But, you know, we could get a nice first entry, second entry, and I'll have to take it. If it's at the EMA, if it's at the channel line, I gotta go with it. Nasdaq breaking above yet again, so we'll see if this acts like an overshoot. Could just be that we have this kind of channel working up and maybe this big one's not even there. I don't know. Might act like an overshoot. If it starts dropping swiftly, then we're gonna know. Waiting for the pullback on the ES here. The Nasdaq rebalances next Friday. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Thanks for that info, Rasa. Why all the craziness in the Nasdaq? Who knows, man? Who knows? Most of the time it's best not to try to figure stuff like that out because, you know, in the end it really doesn't matter. The chart is strong, that means institutions are buying it, right? So we just follow along. You got an uptrend? Okay, we're gonna try to join that sucker. Obviously, if there's a news piece or something that's clearly evident, okay, you know, and we always stay flat for news releases and things like that. But otherwise, just got to follow the price action. Oh, look at that. Beautiful bounce right off of that. The EMA right off of the channel. This could give us our second entry long we are looking for. Actually, technically, that was the second entry long. But can't really take it with this, you know, short-term trend. But so we're gonna have to wait for a higher low. But that was actually our second entry long. As you can see from the top, we have this little baby first entry right here, and that's our second entry. So yeah, waiting on that higher low, and then we can get down with this thing. Nasdaq still pulling back, so that is looking like an overshoot. So treating it as such. Overshoot can lead to correction. What is happening? Sometimes even a reversal. So maybe the Nasdaq is going to reverse here. Don't know. We're going to be pending on that. Meanwhile, on the ES, going down sharply. So our hopes for a long trade are kind of dwindling here. Big spark. Been a minute. Been a minute. What's up? Good to see you. Gonna need to see some movement above the EMA soon in order to consider a long here. It's a nice strong bar. If we get a push above the EMA and a higher low, I will take it. Maybe a push above the EMA here. Almost, didn't quite close above. See a close above that EMA and a higher low. Nice. To be perfect. Just need a little bit of a pullback here. I want it to go up preemptively. We need a little bit more of a pullback. Need to see, and this would be kind of like a visual second entry, right? Like this is our first entry. We need one more pullback and then a second entry. Could very well just keep going up from here. Leave us in the dust, of course. Nasdaq, watching the Nasdaq closely, it's going up. So here we go. We're just gonna launch up to a new high. Nice. This is a promising bar. Draw in some bears. Need to see the next bar tick below, get to the EMA, give us a higher low. We're going to be in. Yep. At 10 a.m. we do have the consumer sentiment. We're gonna have to be flat for that. It's about 10 minutes here. So if this trade gets any closer to 10 a.m., we're gonna have to wait it out anyway. Nasdaq continuing up. Hey MMA, thanks for asking. My trip was awesome. Had a great time camping with my family. It was the first time for my kids. I have 2 sons. It was their first camping trip. They loved it. Great, super relaxing. Also visited a lot of other family and friends, and yeah, had a really good time. So it was great. I did do a little bit of trading while I was on vacation, but it was also a good break from the market, which is super important. It's always been really helpful to me to take some time off and enter fresh again. So appreciate you asking. Oh, it's gone too high now. No more trade. Was another time where context-wise, exactly the area we were looking to get high, to get long. Have this uptrend working up here. First break, expecting a move to a new extreme. Wanting that second entry long. Technically happened here. Couldn't take it because of the short-term downtrend. So we were just waiting for a higher low confirmation anywhere in here. Never happened. Context-wise is great, just never set up, and that's just part of trading. Now, sometimes when we have a really strong trend, and there's a spike in a channel right here. This is just something I've found. When there's a spike in a channel, you have your first break, there's going to be a big trend that's larger than that. Oftentimes, that first break will be the first swing, something like this. So I'm keeping that in mind just in case we keep going up here. I've seen that happen several times, so it's something I watch now. Big Spark, thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, that big channel is a possibility. However, However, if we just look at what we've drawn so far, we do have a break and a new high. So we're expecting a correction here, a larger correction. We'll see if that plays out or not. Again, if we keep going up, I'm going to be looking for that bigger channel. Otherwise, we're just going to be letting a bearish correction play out. Then we'll be looking for longs again. Looking over at the Nasdaq, we did have this overshoot that led to a correction here. Then we were able to push back up. There may be like a steeper channel going, actually. I'm going to explore that a bit. Hard to find something that fits really nice. I think what I had was good. I'm going to put that back up. We'll just go with that for now. Switching back to the ES. This is looking like we're stalling out, maybe headed down for a correction. Hey Megan, question. So the one I use is the one, I'll just post a link in the chat. It's just the Apex trade copier. Again, it's I believe it's pretty much the same thing as the Replicanto one. This is the one I use. I've had no problems with it, besides sometimes, again, getting, when I'm copying, doing a ratio copy from, or sorry, a crossover copy, like from a mini to a micro. That's the only time that things have ever gotten weird, but it's easy to close out positions if they don't copy over right. Yes, yeah, if you have a NinjaTrader account, you can link that too. if that's what you're asking, which is what I do as well. It's one of the accounts that's linked to it.
I know it sounds silly, dear, but do it for me, please.
Team channel, Big Spark. That'd be funny. Go long, go long. No, man, wait. Come on, just get in, go. I don't know, I'm gonna hold off here. That'd be interesting. Hey, Stetzels. What's up? Good to have you. In the long term, I don't think features are the way, and relative strength, relative weakness is better baked in edge. Yeah, I mean, I think, look, there's a million different ways to trade and be profitable, right? I think trading pure price action this way, there's definitely, it's a skill to be learned, first of all, but there's certainly an edge to it. Oh, dang, look at that. But the opportunities are different, right? If you're trading stocks, oh yeah, it's the news. I forgot about that. If you're trading stocks, you're gonna have a lot more opportunities just because there's more tickers, and so you know, some things trending on one day, you can jump in, whereas if you're just trading the indexes, you might have to wait around. I don't know that it's just a different style, right? Like if you're trading stocks, you're gonna have more opportunities to trade probably every day, where if you're trading this price action strategy, you're only looking for like 1 or 2 setups per day. So yeah, that's what I'd say about that. But depending on how you size and whatnot, you could likely make the same amount of money with both. Just kind of depends on your personality. You know, I don't have a lot of, with stocks, the one thing that I've found is it is a lot of work because you're having to scan all day long, right? And always look for new tickers and set alerts and draw trend lines on a bunch of different stuff. And I don't really enjoy that personally, and I'm busy with work with other things, so I really like having just 1 or 2 charts up that I watch every day, and I know, if something's going to set up or not, and if it does, I can take it. If it doesn't, then I can work on other things. So it really suits where I'm at, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. It's a lot more relaxed, I think, than having to go through scanners. So anyway, that's my take on it. Daily grind, trying to build my first PA account. The goal is at least 5 with trade copier. I'm using the static account. You can build some money on it, and threshold is never an issue then. Yeah, for sure. The static account's tricky though, because you only start with like 600 drawdown. And the other thing is they only give you 2 contracts to trade. I personally have to have at least 4 contracts to trade so that I can do the runner and the math works out. But yeah, I mean, that's for sure another option. Yeah, you need more capital to trade stocks, that's for sure, Hamish. Futures is the lower point of entry. So again, I think it comes down to personality and your situation, your capital, all sorts of things. What's going to be best for you, Stocks have worse taxes, that's for sure too. Yeah, so there's pros and cons to both. Still gonna let this news settle down. Almost looks like we're forming kind of a range up here. Something like this. The ES kind of settling off into this range here. The Nasdaq still looking good in this bullish channel. We don't have a lot of, we don't have a lot of touches down here. That's the one thing about this channel that I'm not sure about, but it's certainly looking a lot better than the ES. Stetzels, do I have a specific video on bread and butter? I don't, man. You know, I really need to do that. Have some more, like, hey, here's the strategy, here's how it looks like, kind of, how to identify it, instructional videos. I've been meaning to do that for sure. I mean, ultimately, I think the best way to learn is to see it in action, and I am, you know, if you're paying attention, I break it down every day. I'm drawing my setup every day on the chart live, so that's one thing. I don't have a specific video that breaks that down, but I'm always doing that as we go, and I think that's the best way to learn, is to see it live in action, because there's a lot of nuances to it, right? You know, it's not just, oh hey, this pattern shows up and you trade it. Like, you have to think about context, you have to think about what channels are in play. So all those nuances you can't always cover because every day is unique. So again, that's what seeing it live helps, because then I can cover the nuances of that day, and then on the next day cover the nuances of that day. But regardless, I still would like to do a video on it, at least kind of the basics of the setup. So, like I said, thank you, Steven. Yeah, I'm over on the Nasdaq here because we have a potential setup, pullback, first entry, pullback, second entry right here. As long as we hold the EMA, the Nasdaq is still staying in this upward channel. It's looking pretty good, and you know, this is an example of the, you know, bread and butter setup. This is it, a second entry long at the EMA. We'll see if the EMA holds here. We could also easily get 2 measured legs down, and that would actually be better. Get us back down to around the bottom of the channel here. I think that's what might be happening. All right, I'm switching back to the ES. That, oh, actually, look at that. That could be our second entry to the long side. Pull back, first entry, pull back. Here is, it looks like that second entry. Shoot, well, maybe we still have a chance to enter here. Let's see. How big is that bar though? Maybe we can catch a pullback here. It's gonna go on without us. Shoot, well, that was it. That was the setup, guys. There it happened, right in front of your eyes. Second entry long, right at the EMA. A little slow on the uptake. But I'll draw it out again so you can see, you know, first of all, the important thing is the main context. We are for sure in an uptrend here. That's undeniable. So we're looking for a chance to get long, looking for second entries at the EMA or the channel line, other entry points. And here you have it. Pull back right here. First entry. That's the first time a bar goes higher than the previous bar. Pull back again. And the second entry, second time a bar goes higher than the previous bar. Happened right at the EMA. Nice bullish signal bar. Go long above that and boom. There you go. Bread and butter. I'm glad that brought up, and then boom, we have a bread and butter setup. You took that. Nice, Toad. Good work. And that's really perfect too, because it looked like it wasn't going to work, right? Waiting for it here, then had this bar, and I was like, oh man, yeah, shoot, we're going to get a bigger correction. And then all of a sudden it reversed. And that, I mean, that is exactly what we're looking for. These setups are really like trapping the wrong side, right? There's a bunch of shorts. First of all, they're picking a top somewhere in here, and then they get that second push down and they're like, okay, that's confirming we're for sure going lower, and then boom, psych. So that, I mean, that's the essence of it. But, you know, I'm gonna write that down in my notes as a good example. So if I do make a video of it, I can harken back to this moment in time. All right, well, now we are at the top of our range on ES. So we are going to be expecting prices to go down from here. Although the Nasdaq is still really strong, that's the only thing. Like, you know, otherwise I'd be like, hey, maybe we can look for a short here. But the Nas continues to go up. But still expecting ES to go down here as it is at the top of the range. And I mean, that's what we're expecting in a range. Prices to go from the bottom to the top, from the bottom to the top. I mean, that's what a healthy range is. So our first inclination would be to look for a short right here. Sometimes on a failed breakout, I would prefer a failed second entry long at this point, just to really confirm it. And so that would be pullback. We already have our first entry. This isn't setting up right. We'd want this to happen below the EMA, down here somewhere, get that second entry that then fails, and we could take that short. I don't think it's going to set up here, but that's what we'd be looking for at the top of the The Nasdaq continues to go up too, so that's making me hold off on any shorts. Well, we have completely brushed off that news. That little algo cycle is over. Back to some regular price action. A little bit unclear as to what's going on here. Seeing if there's any sort of way we can have a bigger pattern. Doesn't really look like it. Maybe like that. Pretty wide though, pretty wide and choppy. We'll see if it holds. Back on the Nas, just a beautiful looking uptrend. So we're still looking for second entry longs here. So basically just waiting for prices to get up here and then give a pullback. Second entry long. We'll take that all day. Back on the ES, looks like we're testing the top of this possible channel here. This is starting to look a bit more bullish too, so actually if we get a second entry long here, I'd take that. As long as the top of the range holds and it occurs near the EMA, could be a really good setup. How we doing out there all? It's getting kind of quiet in the chat. Hoping everyone's good. I don't know if y'all have taken any trades today. Hopefully the quietness is people, waiting for setups and not getting crazy and taking a bunch of trades that they ought not to be taking. Heckin' good. Love to hear it. 15 up on the day so far. Nice, Daily Grain. I'm assuming you mean 15 points and not $15. Although, hey, you know, $15 up is not a bad thing. I wouldn't scoff at that for a minute. $15. Oh, okay, cool. Right on. Dude, hey, seriously, don't worry about it. The main thing, look, main thing is consistency, right? If you can consistently get $15 every day, then there's nothing stopping you from getting $15,000 every day. So, yeah, this is not about P&L. This is about your ability to execute on setups. That's the main thing that each one of us should be focused on. Even pros, you know, even people who've been doing this a long time, I can guarantee you they're not thinking about their P&L every day. They're thinking about their setup every day. So that's what it's all about. So that it should never be like, oh, you only made this amount of money. Forget that, man. I could make 100,000 right now in one trade. That doesn't make me a good trader. People do it all the time. It's called Wall Street bets. So yeah, all about consistency. That's the thing. We do have our first entry here. As you can see, pullback first entry right here, and we have our second pullback. Can we get a second entry right here, right on the EMA, right on the top of the channel? Be another bread and butter. Do need to worry about this short-term downtrend though. Can't take anything if it's in that. So even if this happens right here, we're gonna have to wait on a higher low. But the range might win out here. So I'll still have this downtrend working. Let's pop over to the NAS, see if there's anything setting up there. Same kind of deal. Expecting a correction. Currently have a bit of a downtrend working. Stay out of that for now. We also technically have a second entry long, but it's happening way up here, not even close to the EMA, so no dice there. Headed back to the ES. Do have a push above. That is our second entry. See if we can get a higher low here. Pull back first entry here, pull back second entry here. Couldn't take it because it was in the middle of that bearish correction channel. So we need a higher low confirmation right here, and then we can get long. See if it happens. The Nasdaq making a new high again. My goodness, it is strong today. Come on, baby. Move on down. Give us that higher low. Beautiful. That's what we want to see. That's going to draw in some bears. As long as we hold the EMA in the top of the range. I like the setup. Can't go much lower than this, though. Now, if this reverses into a higher low, it's going to be quite a big bar. This has got to get back above the EMA for me to consider. I don't think that's going to happen now. But good thing is we do have a break and new low of this downtrend, so that is played out for the time being. You can look for oof. It's good, but it's still below the EMA. Can't take that. I'm gonna need to push above the EMA and then a higher low. And yeah, the reason I'm waiting, I mean, this is clearly a trading range right here. So that has to be first priority, thinking that we will get this failed breakout and then head to the bottom of the range. So wary that that's going to happen, but you know, when you have a move up like this, and especially with the Nasdaq strong, sometimes you can find support here and then continue higher. So that's the setup I was hoping for and looked like it was going to set up, but now it looks like we might be headed back into the range. And in that case, we're going to expect prices to come all the way down here. But we'll see. We have two legs of bearish correction here. So this may be where we push above the EMA and maybe start doing that, because we still need a new high of this channel here as the break, expecting a new high to form. So there's kind of a couple conflicting things going on, which is usually a sign that you just need to chill and wait for some more price action to develop. If you believed strongly in the range, there was a good failed second entry long here. Pull back first entry, pull back second entry. That failed hard, you can see. So if you were playing the range, playing this as a failed breakout, that was a good setup. I just think the chance for us to go higher there, with how bullish Nasdaq was, how bullish we were previous to this channel, was a little too high, so I wasn't wanting to play the range there. You know, because zooming out, it's like, okay, we're definitely bullish on the day. Don't want to fight that and try to go short. But if you had confidence in the range, that set up pretty nicely. I just don't like the overall context for that trade. All right, pretty clear we're heading to the bottom of the range now. So going to look for prices to get to this level, and then we'll look for a chance to go long again. Thanks for pointing that out, Rasa. Top of a daily channel on SPY. I'm gonna hop while we're waiting for prices to get down there and for something to set up. Gonna hop over to the Nasdaq. Have had a nice correction here. Can't do anything while we were still in that correction. Y'all hear me? Let me know. If you can hear me, please let me know. I think we're back. I think we're good to go. Bueller. Good to go. All right, thanks TT, appreciate that. Well, all my drawings got deleted, but that's kind of good. Then we get to kind of reanalyze what's going on for the day. Now that I'm looking at it, it kind of looks like there was a big uptrend like this. But originally we had like a spike in a channel. You can hear me right on, Summit. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, we had that spike in a channel. Then we had a range going for a while. And we are back. That's right, daily grind. And it looks like we have, while I was gone, taking a little break, looks like we have a downtrend forming. We'll get that drawn. That looks pretty much like where we're at today. But with this confirmed downtrend, we can definitely look for a short. I'm gonna draw some channels. Oh, sorry guys, you haven't even seen, you aren't even looking at what I'm looking at. Apologies, this is what I'm looking at. Just basically redrew everything. Got this new downtrend working here. So can look for a short on there. And then on the Nasdaq, we had this bigger channel, something like this. That's just kind of dropping off, and we have a lot of space up in this area, so I think I'm gonna redraw that. Maybe this is a spike in a channel like the ES was. Looks a lot better. And it looks like we had an overshoot actually, which should explain this drop. Get a channel for that as well. Something like this. Almost looks like we have an overshoot of that channel. Actually, if we draw the ES in the same way, we kind of get the same thing. Maybe not. I think this looks better, like so. See if we can get a second entry short here. Another bread and butter setup if it happens. Got to make sure the EMA holds. We also are hoping for this move up to have a break of this little channel and get a new high, so that that correction channel is played out. This looks like it could be our first entry to the short side. We are breaking that correction channel, so that's wonderful. We want to see one more pullback up to the EMA. Right around here, give that second entry, which should look something like this. And then we'll take that short. We might just go straight to a new low here though. Still haven't made a new low, so there's still a chance for us to pull back to the EMA. But it's getting less and less likely. Same kind of deals happening on the Nasdaq. Looking for possible second entry short. There's our first entry. If we can come up here, get a second entry, maybe we can get same trade on two indexes at the same time. Morning, Pete. Good to see ya. You're joining at a good time. We might maybe have a setup on our hands, crossing our fingers. Yeah, movement on the NQ has been pretty nice lately. There's been some good setups on it. Took one yesterday. Today as well, they had I had a nice trend. Meanwhile, ES was kind of chopping around. That's just how it is. Sometimes one will move better than the other. Come on, baby. Move back to the EMA. Let's go. No, no, don't go down yet. No. We want an entry. So much to ask just to go up first before you go down. I guess it is. Yes, it is. Okay, now we have made officially double bottom. And a new low. So cannot take that. Another great context, no setup. Have a move down like this and a break of the channel. You can expect for a new low to be formed. Exactly what's happening. So this is the pullback area that we really want to set up. It's the perfect opportunity. You have this big move down. We know that there's likely going to be continuation of that move, but you get this pullback. That's what suckers in, counter trend traders. There's people getting long right here. And then when it goes down again and comes back up, they think that's a double bottom. They get long again, and then get trapped out on the move down. So great context. Just didn't quite set up right. But that's okay. You don't want to, even though the context is good, you don't want to just jump into a trade, because you will likely get stopped out. The prices just naturally want to go back to the EMA. That's where the best setups happen. So if you get a setup that's occurring, you know, down here, and you take it, you'll find out, you know, if you take those often enough, that oftentimes you get a little tick that stops you out to the EMA, and then it continues down. So just trying to always set ourselves up for the most high probability scenarios. Gives us the best chance of success. Yeah, the ticks will get you. If not in the futures markets, then in the bushes if you're hiking off the trail. Watch out for those ticks. Lyme's disease is no joke, my friend. Brant, what's up? Piping in on the Lyme's disease. Oof, yeah. Ticks and dogs, bad combo. Oh, you literally do have Lyme's, Brant? Jeez. I am sorry to hear that. My 3-year-old at the time, he was playing outside and came in. He was like, "Dad, what's this?" And I look on the inside of his leg. There's a nasty tick, and I'm like, "Okay, whatever you do, don't pull it out." And all of a sudden, of course, he just rips the thing out. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Fortunately, he actually pulled it out cleanly, so it's all good. But I was worried. Yeah, trail running every day in the woods will definitely do it to you. Especially if you're, you know, on the East Coast or something. It's really bad over there. Midwest, East Coast. Yes, Toad. I had some technical problems. Unfortunately, my computer has just been freezing. So it's really not good when I'm trying to trade. So I've already been in conversations with the manufacturer trying to get it all taken care of. Yeah, hopefully we can get that done sooner than later. I do not want to be in the middle of a position that happens. But I have to forge on for now. Cross my fingers. MMA. Yeah, those are the best kind of runs where you go and then you find a nice chair. Alright, switch into the NAS. May have a second entry short here. Still holding the channel besides this kind of random little overshoot here. Doesn't look like it is caring about that. So we're looking for a second entry short. Maybe. Want to make sure that we're respecting, these short-term correction channels. We got one going right here. But if we can get a pullback first entry, pullback second entry at the EMA, we'll consider taking that on the Nasdaq. On the ES, holding off because we have a break and a new low of this channel. So expecting a bounce. So that makes me think we'll probably get a bounce on the Nasdaq as well. One of them's gonna win. It's definitely better when both indexes are kind of doing the same thing and we're looking for the same things. So the only thing is maybe we could consider a larger channel like this. Doesn't look great though. You have looked left today, Joe. 4540. 4540 is kind of the middle of this congestion here. And the start of this bounce. That's probably what you're referring to. Supply and demand kind of stuff. Oh, big time frame. No, not right now. Take a look on the 10K. I don't think I have enough days loaded to... Yeah, I would have to go way back for that to have any sort of significance. I don't have any more data, so yeah, I'm not looking that far back. Big Spark always trying to convert me. On the NAS, we have our first entry to the short side. Right here, it's barely. We want to see a bigger push down, like so. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways. You know, there's many ways to skin a cat, Big Spark. I was already expecting a bounce because we had a break and new low of this channel, so was already expecting a bounce here. Usually those kind of things are in conjunction, right? If there's a really specific level the prices are going to bounce at, usually, you know, you're going to get some sort of pattern like this that leads to it. So yeah, already had that new low there, was already expecting a bounce. Because that's not my strategy, bro. I'm not trading that. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to. Yeah, I expected it, but that doesn't mean I have to trade it. There's a lot of things I expect to happen. That doesn't mean I'm going to make a trade on them. But I mean, it's not a bad one to take a risk on. The thing is this, like, it could have bounced on this candle right here. You know, that was a nice bullish candle. What was stopping me from taking it right there? Or this one, that was a pretty decent bullish candle. So yeah, I mean, you're kind of having to guess a little bit, like even if you're expecting a bounce around this area, well, which candle is going to be the bounce? Did this one put my stop there, get stopped out? This one put my stop there, maybe get stopped out here. This one was the one that worked, but you don't know that, only in hindsight. Expectations one thing, risk is another. Setups are about minimizing risk. That, yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. I need a specific entry, a specific stop, and a specific target. Otherwise, yeah, and there's ways to construct that, or, you know, if you're trying to play along right here, there's ways to construct that, but just not with this strategy. Not with my risk tolerance, the number of contracts I'm trading, etc. Anywho, really solid bounce here though. Could even get a second entry long. This continues. Kind of expecting prices to go back into the range. So we'll see. If we get a nice clean second entry long, I'd consider it. The EMA is going to hold. Same deal on the Nasdaq. This is looking quite nice here. Only difference being the Nasdaq doesn't seem to have got its new low for this, the first break of that down channel, so we could get a new low here. Whereas on the ES that already happened. So we'll see. I think the EMA is going to be the tell here on both. All right, Big Spark, take it easy, man. It's just funny to me how people do that. It just kind of cracks me up. Why aren't you looking at the 66% fib level? Why didn't you look at the order flow on that? Dude, because I'm not trading that. Like, if you're trading that and that's your edge and you're finding success there, great. That doesn't mean everyone else has to look at those things. kind of silly. I don't like, you know, if someone's trading a stock, I'm not like, oh, there, but that wasn't a second entry long. How could you take that? It's like, dude, there's different strategies. Anyway, I'm gonna get on a rant here. Yeah, no harm. I mean, nice guy. It's more funny, like thinking globally. I'm not picking on him at all. It's just funny that people do that. We have a breaking new high of this small channel here on the ES. So any thought of a long is now gone. Break new high. Seeing if we get a bearish correction here. And actually same deal on the Nasdaq. What? The both indexes doing the same thing. Wonderful. Breaking new high. Now we're in a little bit more correlation here. I know, I'm sorry, MMA. How could I not have done that? I'm so sorry. I'll listen to you next time. You just tell me where to enter and I'll enter, okay? As a matter of fact, why doesn't everyone in the chat, whenever you think I should enter a trade, just say enter here and I'll just do it. I'll just do it. I'll execute. And, you know, that'll probably be good, right? Take the next 821 EMA cross. Done. Yeah, daily grind. That's my point though. Like everyone has a different game, you know? Yeah, I figured you were joking, MMA. I was playing along. I mean, that honestly though, that's the beautiful thing about trading. There's so many different ways to make money. There's so many different edges. So if you found one, if you have an edge that works for you, great, do it. You know, I'm not here to tell you to do any different. I'm just sharing my journey. What I do, what's worked for me, suits my personality, my style, etc. And it's going to be different for everyone. Yeah, exactly, Brant. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, when someone asks like a question, how many contracts should I trade on this account? And everyone's like, oh yeah, you know, this is the only way to do it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, but that can also be kind of confusing to newer folks because there are so many strategies. Because there are so many strategies, people get distracted, like jumping from one to another. Like once you find one, you know it works, just trade it. And that's really what I'm trying to do here. Like I've seen this strategy work for me. It's been consistent. When I just do this, I'm profitable. So I want to focus on that. Of course, there's a lot of other ways to trade, but I'm not going to do that. Maybe down the line, of course, I can introduce other systems and stuff, but for me, having like a laser focus has worked. And I've heard that from a lot of people that was kind of the thing that made it click for them was, no, you know what? I'm going to pick one setup and I'm just going to trade that. So anyway, rant over. Apologies for the rant this morning. Hope some of it's helpful to you though. And you know, if you are someone who is kind of going back and forth between strategies, like I would encourage you, pick one. If you know it works, I mean, that's the first thing. It has to really have an edge. So you're going to need to either see it demonstrated or track a lot of data, whatever it is. But confirm there's an edge, and then once there is, just stick with it and just trade it. Anyway, it's been good with y'all this morning. There's some good opportunities this morning, just didn't quite set up. The one that got away from me though, this Nasdaq trade, second entry long, that I was just a little bit too slow in coming over to this chart and seeing it set up, so wasn't able to take it. That was probably the best setup of the day. And some other good opportunity, you know, the trade at the open on the ES was really nice. I just couldn't pull the trigger right on the open, but that was a nice little second entry long. Double trap. Yeah, there's a lot of good things happening there. So anyway, thanks everyone. It's been a good stream. Hope you all have a great day. Trade safe and enjoy the weekend. Take some time off the markets, get refreshed, and we'll hit it hard on Monday. Take care, everyone.